Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Judy Poteet, and I am a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. Thank you for joining me today as we move into this time of meditation, this time of reflection and contemplation. I invite you now to relax in this moment. Our theme for this month and for this year is living everyday wonder. Living in wonder, living in awe. So today's meditation is about awe. Now, what is awe? The scientists describe it as a sensation, the awareness of being present to something vast, something huge, that simultaneously transcends one's understanding of the world. There is actually a science of awe, which studies the effects of awe, of wonder, of the benefits of noticing experiences that create awe. And their conclusion is that experiencing awe is profoundly beneficial. Awe is a wordless language. It's a language of experience, a language of the heart, the soul. It's a spiritual, emotional response to something that we see, hear, taste, touch, smell, or experience in any manner. Awe is a feeling of wonder, of oneness, of unity with the divine. It inspires and motivates. It is sacred, complicated, and simple, all at the same time. Awe is all around us. Every day it calls us to take notice, to pause, to look away from the mundane, towards the mysterious, towards those magical and meaningful moments we sometimes miss. It is universal, and yet each experience of awe is unique to the individual experiencing it. Open up to the memories of an experience of awe. So I invite you to just simply relax, close your eyes, observe your breathing in a natural state, the rhythm, the sense of air that is touching you. And realize that air that you're breathing, that air that surrounds you, is the presence of the divine, the presence that is love, joy, peace, power, the grace and the wholeness and the completeness that is God. Contemplate in awe the trillions of cells in your body, working in absolute order so that you may move and interact with your world. How awesome is that? There are so many things that are awe-inspiring. Imagine the skill of an Olympic athlete, You might imagine the sight of millions of gallons of water cascading over a majestic waterfall. A Cirque du Soleil performer. Flowers blooming, maybe even a December rose. Even feel the heat of the sun that traveled 91.4 million miles just to touch your face. Contemplate where you have experienced awe and wonder. It might be watching a sunrise or a sunset. It might be feeling the grasp of an infant as they hold your finger. It might be a walk in a forest or along an ocean beach. It might be a starry night sky, or men walking on the moon, or NASA pictures from outer space. Or even walking into a museum or a cathedral. It might be to contemplate poetry, such as Angela Morgan's poem today. Oh, to be alive in such an age, when miracles are everywhere, and every inch of common air throbs a tremendous prophecy of greater marvels yet to be. And as we end this meditation, this time to recognize and realize the awe we have experienced in our lives, and to open up to new experiences of awe, I invite you to take time to pause during your day and sense the holy in your everyday experience. Namaste.
Welcome. This is Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. CSLGLV is known as a teaching center. You may wish to experience this celebration service as many of our members do by having pen and paper nearby. Be ready to jot down many of the ideas, teachings, and inspirations presented here today. The service begins right after these community messages. After the service, explore more of today's message while enjoying the fellowship of others in your spiritual family. Let's Talk, our weekly conversation, takes place on Zoom immediately following this celebration service. If you are viewing this on YouTube, scroll down and click the Let's Talk link to join in. The Zoom invite can also be found in the recently emailed newsletter or on our Facebook page. Join our community conversation. The monthly publication, Science of Mind magazine, is a treasure to be read and contemplated. Along with in-depth articles, there is a day-to-day spiritual support to be gleaned from its daily guides. Licensed practitioner Lynn Frankenberger hosts Adventures in Faith every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on Zoom, and you're invited to join in. This is a weekly group discussion that focuses on those daily guides and how to apply them. Check Facebook and our weekly newsletter for more details. A vision board is not just a collection of wishes, it's a glimpse into the future that you envision for yourself and your life. Held in a beautiful space at the Enterprise Library in Las Vegas, this time together will be one of meditation, peaceful conversation, inward reflection, and an opportunity to open up to the highest idea for your days and years to come. Release the mind clutter and bring your vision into focus. Let your creative energy take charge. Put the law of attraction to work for you. Learn how to put the power in your affirmations. CSL Greater Las Vegas brings you much of your favorite spiritual music every Friday at 7 p.m. with spiritual soundscapes. Enjoy performances from CSLGLV vocalists along with special guest singers. It's music for your soul. Subscribe to the CSLGLV YouTube channel to get a convenient link sent to you for each musical performance. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through community connection, exploration, and celebration. This mission supports the all-inclusive vision of Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide, in which we envision a world that works for everyone and all of creation. Before we begin this celebration service, let's all join in and sing our opening song together.
wow, love, peace, joy. We are together in this presence, right here and right now, knowing that each of us is the energy of God. I'm Judy Poteet, a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. It is my pleasure to be here with you as we experience this uplifting celebration service together. Before we get started, I would like to mention that if you are in need of or seek spiritual nourishment throughout your week, make sure you subscribe to this channel by clicking the red subscribe button and the bell icon below. This way, you'll be informed of our weekly Monday message, our meditations, and our uplifting soulful music. Become spiritually connected with us throughout the week just by subscribing. And throughout this service, if you feel a need for prayer, a prayer and a blessing for you, a family member, or a friend, then please go to our website and select our prayer request. Prayer and meditation are two very powerful spiritual traditions here in our community. Know that licensed spiritual practitioners are deeply committed to supporting you through prayer. We are here for you. Please feel free to call on us. As a matter of fact, even as I speak, 2 practitioners are providing spiritual support right now for you, for me, for our entire community. They're holding us in deep spiritual loving care from their homes by sitting in meditation during this service. We thank Bobby Williams and Fran Peterson for holding high watch for each one of us today. And now, let us take a moment to consider this week's affirmation. You may wish to jot it down or take a picture of it and keep it with you as a source of inspiration throughout the week. I will read the affirmation, and then we'll enter into a time of contemplation together, after which I will give the invocation. I see awe-inspiring beauty everywhere I look. I see awe-inspiring beauty everywhere I look.
Spirit flows through me. Spirit, I am one. Spirit flows through me. I accept and recognize God in me. Spirit flows through me. Spirit, I am one. Spirit flows through me. I accept and recognize God in me.
I'm so grateful for the wonder of life, for the beauty, the joy, the love, the grace, the energy of the presence of the divine. It is right here, right now, present within each and every individual. I only need to look. I only need to recognize, to notice the divine presence. It is right here, always, eternally, right here. And I celebrate this time together, this time of learning, of growing, of experiencing, of living in wonder, of knowing and sensing and experiencing the grace, the love, the joy, the peace, the beauty. That is God. And in this gratitude, I know that each and every individual is blessed in numerous ways, not only during the celebration service, but in all of life. And I am grateful. And so it is.
Spirit flows through me. Spirit, I am one. Spirit flows through me. I accept and recognize God in me. Amen.
I see trees that are green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. What a grand and glorious day it is here in Southern Nevada. For those of you that are joining us from around the country, we are so delighted to have you here with us. And if it doesn't happen to be sunshiny where you're at, you just let us know and we'll send some of that sun your way because we've got plenty of it to share. It's so good to be here with you. I'm so grateful for the beautiful meditation that was provided by Judy Petit this morning. That was a perfect way to start the day. And her invocation also just really set the tone for our service. I also want to thank Bobby Williams and Fran Peterson, who are practitioners that are sitting high watch with us today. We are so delighted to have your consciousness joining us for this time. And I want to give great thanks to Justin and his music team, Nadine, for the beautiful music she's providing today, and Justin for all of the work he goes into putting that together. Also want to give thanks to our media team, Joe and Kelly and Justin, and all of the work they do to bring these services to us each week. So we are delighted. We are blessed. We have a magnificent team of people here working to bring keep Centers for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas alive and brought to you each week. So I'm so grateful for that. So this year, our theme for 2022 is Living Everyday Wonder. It also happens to be our theme for January. And today's talk title is Wonder, Wonder Everywhere. We're going to look at this idea of wonder from a spiritual aspect. And so let's just start off with, how often do we sit and look and wonder at different things in our lives? How often are we wondering about the everyday, ordinary things in our lives, these commonplace things? Take a moment right now, wherever you're at, and look around and see if you can put your eye onto something ordinary. Just something ordinary that's in your space. Maybe you're sitting at a desk in front of a computer. There might be something there that attracts your eye. Or if you're in your living room watching us on the big screen, find something and just begin to think about that thing. All of what went in to bring it to your room, to your place. All of the things that you were able to do because of it. All of the things that went into creating it. First off, when we start with just a simple idea that creates it, and then there's all of the mechanics around it. Everything that has to go to building it and bringing it to you, and all of the things that you can do. Just taking one simple little object in your life and looking at it in wonder can be quite a powerful experience. If I take a look at a pen here, and I just think about this pen and all of the different components of it, it's certainly got plastic in it, and all of the things that might have gone into making plastic, and all of the people, all of the hands that created that touched it just to make the liquid that's formed into a shape. Who made the forms for the shape? What's inside of it that makes the liquid flow and not freeze up? What is the mechanism through which the liquid is flowing out in a specific way to where I can actually begin to create something with it? A simple thing like this, if we begin to look at it in wonder, we actually begin to start orienting our life to looking at the wonder of things. And so we can transfer this to all kinds of areas. For instance, think about your body. A simple part of your body. Right now, right in front of me here on the video camera, I see my nose. So I look at this and if I think about the nose and the wonder of the nose, the functionality of the nose. You know, right now we are in the middle of a 2-year pandemic, and our nose is actually our first line of defense in our body. It's the first thing that's actually going to stop something from getting into our body. It has a wonderful mechanism within the structure of the nose that allows for the little hairs to catch things before they enter our body. And so we begin to wonder about, or begin to sit and wonder about our nose and delight in the way that it serves our body so well. And who could have ever imagined that all of the things that the nose does that is beneficial to our bodies? You know, even the fact that sometimes the nose produces liquid that comes out of it. That's helpful for us. That is a thing that is absolutely awe-inspiring, that this simple little structure that's on the end of my face here could actually be so beneficial to my body. And we can do this with every single part of our body. Just actually begin to contemplate the wonder of something. And I believe that will begin to shift our focus around different, a different viewpoint with the world. When we begin to actually look at things and wonder, I could look at my nose and say, well, I don't really like the shape of it. And, sometimes it runs way too much. And sometimes it's just annoying to have it there. And when I've got my glasses on there, it's an irritation and all of these things. And if I focus on those parts, those aspects of my nose, then I have a whole different sense of what it is for me. And I can't help but feel just in this moment here, the negativity that I'm feeling from thinking about the things that I would rather change about my nose as opposed to thinking about the wonder of my nose. Just in this one simple moment here of time, when we're focusing on one thing, we can begin to see the difference in our whole attitude and how it shifts around to look at something through awe and wonder as opposed to looking to it through judgment and criticism. And so think about this now in all of the ways that we do that in our lives. All of the ways that we begin to make an instant judgment about something instead of approaching it with wonder. Think about the different interactions that you have with other people in your lives, and how if you approach that with wonder instead of judgment instantly, they would begin to shift. If we look at our principles, going back to our basic principles that we have here at Centers for Spiritual Living, one of our what we believe statements, a declaration of principles, is we believe in the individualization of spirit within us, and that all people are individualizations of this one spirit. We believe in the individualization of spirit within us. No problem with that. I've totally got that. I believe that spirit is incarnated within me, that I am a manifestation of it, that it is moving through me, it's showing up as me. And I understand that. And when I look at you, I can understand that also. Especially when I look at people that are in my spiritual community that are like-minded people that hold the similar beliefs to mine. And it's very easy for me to say, oh yeah, same presence of the divine that's within me is within you. No problem with that whatsoever. I can actually even translate that pretty easily over to people that I love that don't believe this philosophy. And I can say, okay, they have a different point of view about it, but I know that indwelling presence is the same within them as it is within me. And so it's very easy for me to transfer that over. I can transfer it over to friends who don't believe in this philosophy just as easily. Where it begins to get a little tricky is when we have people that we don't know very well, who are outside of us, who have a different point of view altogether, that is sometimes contrary, sometimes we find highly objectionable, sometimes they're engaging in acts that we would consider horrific or heinous. And when we go then now, can we see the God in them? Can we say that the individualization of the presence of the divine in me is the same individualization of the presence of the divine within that person? That's where the judgment starts to come in. And that's where I'm now looking at this person through the eyes of judgment and separateness, as opposed to looking at this person through the eyes of wonder and compassion and love and unity. I can't see the God in them because whatever it is that is about them that's causing me to judge them has blocked it. It's caused a whole sense of separation between me and them. But when I can go back to looking at them with wonder, looking at them from a place of curiosity, then I can begin to soften that judgment that I'm feeling. I believe that this same indwelling presence within each one of us is absolutely the same. I don't think that there's more God in me than there's more God in you. And I don't think there's more God in me than in these people I find objectionable. I don't believe that that's the case. What I believe is happening here is that we become aware of spirit to a certain degree. Last week I used the quote, heaven is within us and we experience it to the degree that we become aware of it. Heaven is within us and we experience it to the degree that we become aware of it. And I believe that people who are engaging in acts that I would find abhorrent have not realized the presence of heaven within them yet. They have not, many of the spiritual leaders have used the phrase, the veil is thick. They don't quite realize their presence. They don't quite realize that there is only this one. Because I believe that once we have that innate sense of oneness within ourselves, we can no longer see separateness as readily as we did before. And I think that softens our behaviors to other people. That when we begin to understand our connection with the divine, we begin to experience the divine actually moving through us, then we're no longer able to engage in the acts that we were able to engage in before. We no longer want to do those things because we have this sense of like, what is the truth here? What's really happening here? But when we are looking at something and judging it so harshly, then there's no room for wonder in there. For instance, if I'm driving along the road on the freeway here, it's, our freeways are fun. And if I'm driving along and somebody cuts me off, I have two things I can do there. I can approach that through a attitude of anger. And say, what is wrong with this person? What are they doing here cutting me off in the road? There's no wonder in that. That's pure judgment. But if I could soften myself just for a moment and say, I wonder what's going on with this person that caused them to engage in this kind of behavior. I wonder if there's some emergency that they're trying to get to. I wonder if maybe they've got to go to a loved one who's in a hospital. Or maybe they're picking up their child from school and they're running late. Or maybe they're on their way to work and they know if they don't get there on time, they're going to lose their job. If I can begin to shift my instant response of anger to one of curiosity and one of wonder, then I can begin to soften how I feel and how I react. And quite honestly, that's what the important part is. That person that's done whatever doesn't really, this doesn't affect them in any way, but it affects everything about me. How I am approaching it will determine how the rest of my day is. I can sit and dwell on that in anger and frustration and irritation and expectation of it to happen again. Or I can soften myself and say, wow, I wonder what's going on in that person's life. And if we begin to apply this in lots of different ways, I think we begin to develop a deeper sense of empathy for people. And empathy will lead to compassion. And between those two things right there, a greater sense of empathy and a greater sense of compassion, there is room for love. There is no room for love in our life without empathy, without compassion. Love cannot exist in the absence of those two things. In her book, See No Stranger, Valerie Kaur, who's a Sikh activist, uses the phrase that wonder is the wellspring of love. That wonder is the wellspring of love. That love actually is birthed from this idea of wonder. Because again, wonder softens us. Wonder allows us space to question, to be curious about what's happening with someone, to look at someone through different eyes, through the eyes of compassion, through the eyes of empathy. When we begin to wonder, we open up a space within ourselves to allow this presence to come forth as the love that we are. Otherwise, we're just giving it lip service. We're not actually doing what we're saying that we're doing, because we have an inherent judgment that's holding us back from actually being able to experience the compassion and the love that is the compassion and the empathy that is the very nature of love. And so I think that is all necessary. I think wonder is a key component to that. Wonder, she goes on to say, wonder reveals oneness. Wonder reveals oneness. It is this wonder that allows us to build empathy. It allows us to build compassion. It allows us to see the possibility of there's something active here besides my instantaneous judgment of what the situation is. And it's through wonder that we begin to know ourselves better. It is through this act of wonder. If I am curious about others and I look at how I'm reacting to others, I can begin to get a greater sense or greater understanding of who I am and how these things are triggered in me and how they are actually alive in me. Valerie Kaur goes on to say that it is through wonder that I discover the you that are a part of me I don't know yet. I discover the you that is a part of me that I don't know yet. if we go back to that idea of, this individualization of spirit, the same spirit that is in me is the same spirit that is within you. It is the same spirit that is within this person that's done me wrong or that I have an objection to. It is the same presence. Then we're actually getting to that idea of unity. One of our other declarations of principles says we believe in the unity of all life, that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe in the unity of all life. If I'm sitting in judgment of somebody else, I am not believing in unity. I am believing in separateness and otherness. I am not able to get to that place of unified love. And I'm not able to understand myself yet, because if I'm judging somebody else, there's also a part of me that's sitting in judgment of myself. And so if I begin to understand this other person, the you that's out there, I begin to understand myself a little bit better. I can know myself better by seeing the unity of all life, by seeing the indwelling presence of God within me and knowing that it is the same indwelling presence of God within you. That's how I get to this idea of oneness. Otherwise, we're just playing the game. We're just talking the good game. But we really have to begin to look at how we are reacting to other people in our lives. And are we acting from a sense of instantaneous judgment or a sense of awe and wonder? So what are you in wonder of? What is it that delights you? What does it light you up? What is it that makes you want to be more curious about it? Or what is it that when you see it, there's something visceral that happens within you? I was driving back from St. George yesterday, and there's a St. George, Utah, and I was on I-15, and there's a place. It's just north of Valley of Fire on I-15, and the road kind of curves, and it's a downward hill there, and it's a place where the mountains are in such a formation that every time I see it, I get chills. There's just something beautiful about this one particular area, and I always slow the car down. Sometimes I'll be like driving and I'm not remembering that it's coming up soon, but I hit this one curve and then I realize, oh, this is the place. This is the place, and I can't even tell you what it is about it. There's just the brown mountains, but they're so beautifully layered, and when the sun hits it in just the right way, it's a spectacular view, and it's just one of these things that actually causes a visceral reaction within me. I slow my car down. I spend the extra moment that I can safely on the freeway looking at this beautiful sight, because it inspires me. It causes awe and wonder within me to become alive. I know many times in the last 45 years that I've lived in this area, as I'm driving back from the east, my extended family lived in the Midwest back then, so I'm coming back from the east, and you hit a place where you start to see the mountains. And when I hit that, it was like, oh, I can breathe better. I'm home. This is becoming familiar with me. And so the mountains are extremely important to me. When we go, often there were a group of us that would go to a Silomar, which is in Monterey, California, to a convention that we had there many years. And my friends would all start to laugh because it was actually 30 minutes before we would get to Monterey, I could start smelling the ocean. And I would start to get excited. And this excitement would build within me. And it didn't matter what time of day it was, I had to take this one route, going through Monterey the long way, so that I could come to the Silomar campground. And because I had to stop at the ocean. I had to stop at those rocks that were right there on the it's right next to Pebble Beach. It's the most amazing place in the world for me. I love it. And I would have to stop the car and get out and smell the ocean and look at the rocks and listen to the waves. It lit me up. The wonder and the awe of this, the vastness of it, the sound of it, the power of it was just so inspiring that I had to actually stop the car, get out, and spend time with it. Now, we need to find awe and wonder in our lives every day. Some of us find it through our relationships. Some of us find it with our interactions with our pets. Some of us find it in the work that we do, in the nature around us. Some of it find it in our physical activity. Doesn't matter where, but look for the awe and the wonder. Look for those moments that delight you. In his book, Ideas for Living, Ernest Holmes writes, "We stand in awe of grandeur in our world. Something deep within us responds. Something within embraces the oceans. Something within melts into the mountain, and we become one with them." Find those moments to stand in awe of the grandeur of the world around us. Find those moments to question and wonder about other people that you interact with. In your everyday moments, make it a practice. Drive down the street, and as you see somebody, notice them and wonder about their lives. It will soften us. It will open up a space within us for compassion and empathy. It will build that love that unifies all. It is the way forward. Wonder and awe are a magnificent spiritual practice, and I hope you begin to engage in it a little more often. So let's just take a moment and unify these ideas in prayer. So our form of prayer is called spiritual mind treatment. It's an affirmative prayer. It's one where we recognize the presence of the divine. We unify ourselves with it in that sense of love and wonder. We acknowledge the truth that is. We give thanks for it, and we let it go. So I invite you to turn within now. Just take a moment and become still. And tap into that place of deep peace, that place in consciousness from which all things are manifest. And it is from this place within my heart center that I know that there is only one loving creative intelligence, one divine presence, one power. I know that one is operating itself in, through, and as all life. That it is the beginning and the end of all. The circle and the circumference. I know that one is spirit, as love, as the divine, as God. And I know that one indwells me. It has brought me forth into existence. It is living its life through me. It is showing up as me. And as I know this is true for me, I know this is true for everyone else. That each one of us is that perfect, divine emanation of the one, created in the image and the likeness of perfection. And so I speak my word, knowing this truth. I know that there is a unity of all life. It is. And it is simply awaiting our recognition of it. I know that it is through delighting in the world around us that we feel more of this oneness. I know that it is staying open and curious to others that we experience it to a greater depth. And I know that as we stay open, as we approach each situation with curiosity, we leave space within us for a deeper understanding, for a chance for empathy and compassion to be working in our lives, for a felt oneness to actually be our experience. And I know this is more possible than ever as we open ourselves up in loving kindness, in compassion, and in a sense of awe and wonder. And I'm so grateful to know this. I'm so grateful to feel it. I'm so grateful every time I see it operating in the world. And I just relax into this sense of gratitude and deep awareness. And I release this into the law, where it is already complete, where everything is perfect. I just allow it to rest there, and I let it be. And so it is. Amen. Here at Center for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas, we are a mission and vision-driven community. We offer transformative educational opportunities, deep and meaningful moments of connection, uplifting Wednesday and Sunday services. We greatly appreciate your contributions that support the amazing work we're doing here in Southern Nevada. We have several easy ways you can contribute. We have text to give. Simply text the amount of your donation to our text to give number, and you'll be prompted to enter your information. There's a link to our online donation page posted below this video where you can contribute by debit or credit card. And of course, you're always welcome to send a check to our office if that works better for you. All of your contributions go to support the great work that we're doing here in Greater Las Vegas community.
We're on a wheel, spinning through the cosmos. All the love we feel spins away the fear. Walking up the ladder, emanating power. Blessed Holy Spirit, guide us on our way. For we are courage and we are freedom for all the people. As we lighten up the world, yes, we are masters and we are heroes for all the kingdoms. As we lighten up the world, give me all your burdens, give me all your sadness. You'll be filled with laughter only when you say that you are holy water, you are highly favored. Blessing all the mountains, valleys, hills, and plains. For we are courage and we are freedom for all the people. As we lighten up the world, yes, we are masters and we are heroes for all the kingdoms. As we lighten up the world, as we lighten up, go and show the love's the way. As we lighten up, have faith in every word you say. As we lighten up, give up the stories that we made. As we lighten up, go and light the way. We're on a wheel, spinning through the cosmos. All the love we feel spins away the fear. For we are holy water, we are highly favored. Blessing all the mountains, valleys, hills, and plains. For we are courage and we are freedom for all the people. As we lighten up the world, yes, we are masters and we are heroes for all the kingdoms. As we lighten up the world, yes, we are courage and we are freedom for all the people. As we lighten up the world, yes, we are masters and we are heroes for all the kingdoms. As we lighten up the world.
Thank you, Nadine. You always inspire and uplift us with your talent. And thank you for your generous gift in support of our center. We remain committed to serving you. Centers for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas continues to provide enriching services, transformative classes, and powerful opportunities for connection within our community. Be sure to watch the announcements at the end of today's service for what's coming up in the weeks ahead. Now, let's join together in a closing song before our benediction.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friends. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friends. Thank you for this life, Spirit. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this life, Spirit. Thank you for this life. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day.
It is such a delight to live our lives through awe and wonder. And what a spiritual practice it is for us to find more opportunities in our lives to be in wonder, to be curious about the world around us, and to come at it from a place of non-judgment. I think our life and our worlds can really be transformed through this practice. So I know that each one of you will have a blessed and beautiful week. Look forward to seeing you in person next Sunday on January 16th. We'll have our in-person service. I hope to see you in person then. In the meantime, have a phenomenal week. Blessings.
After the service, explore more of today's message while enjoying the fellowship of others in your spiritual family. Let's Talk, our weekly conversation, takes place on Zoom immediately following this celebration service. If you are viewing this on YouTube, scroll down and click the Let's Talk link to join in. The Zoom invite can also be found in the recently emailed newsletter or on our Facebook page. Join our community conversation. The monthly publication, Science of Mind magazine, is a treasure to be read and contemplated. Along with in-depth articles, there is a day-to-day spiritual support to be gleaned from its daily guides. Licensed practitioner Lynn Frankenberger hosts Adventures in Faith every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on Zoom, and you're invited to join in. This is a weekly group discussion that focuses on those daily guides and how to apply them. Check Facebook and our weekly newsletter for more details. CSL Greater Las Vegas brings you much of your favorite spiritual music every Friday at 7 p.m. with spiritual soundscapes. Enjoy performances from CSLGLV vocalists along with special guest singers. It's music for your soul. Subscribe to the CSLGLV YouTube channel to get a convenient link sent to you for each musical performance. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through community connection, exploration, and celebration. This mission supports the all-inclusive vision of Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide, in which we envision a world that works for everyone and all of creation.